Nowadays, it seems like no one has time to go to the gym. But if you do the right exercises and you program your routine in the right way, then you can go in the gym and make more gains in less time. What's up everyone, David here, got a new video for y'all today. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any new videos. Because remember, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So don't miss out. Now today, we're gonna be talking about specifically about my program. Again, that's the biggest thing I want you to take into account. This is what works for me. What works for me is not gonna work for you. Just how any other workout routine that you see any other influencer, any other bodybuilder, any other weightlifter do might not always work for you. I'm just gonna give you the general template. You adjust it based off of your needs and your preferences. But regardless, this program right here, this is what I do. This is what helps me get in the gym, put in the work, get in, get out, get the most amount of gains in the least amount of time possible. Because let's be completely honest, as much as we all enjoy going to the gym, it's not the only thing we have going on. Some of us have jobs, other responsibilities, kids, school, internships, so many things on our plate that it can be hard to just completely ditch the gym. Regardless, no matter how busy your schedule is, I definitely believe you should still stay on top of your fitness, stay on top of your health. Because if you keep pushing off the gains, keep pushing off gym time, eventually those health issues, it's gonna come back to bite you. So no matter how busy you are, try to carve away an hour to work out. Now, how many days a week you should work out? That's gonna vary, and that's why I love this program that I made for myself, because I could either work out 5 days a week if I'm available 5 days, but realistically, I only need 3. The whole concept behind all this is the minimalist workout. What is the minimum amount of things I can do and still maximize your results? Not just in the amount of exercises you do, but the type of ways that you're doing those particular exercises, the different training modalities to help cover your basic goals and your basic needs. In my opinion, what would those goals and needs be? Getting stronger, getting bigger, training the muscles to look like a bodybuilder, but training the movement patterns to look like a power lifter and perform like one. Strength and looks. You don't only want to look good, you want to be able to perform good. And this is what I got covered right here. So let's get into it. Day number 1, Mondays for me. Again, whatever your day 1 is, that's going to vary. But me, I always start off my weeks on Mondays, leg day. Get the hardest workout done at the beginning of the week. It sets the tone for the rest of the week. I start off with squats and I do 3 sets of it in total. Now, the way I go about it is I lead up into my top set, do a couple warm-up sets leading up to whatever that top heavy set is. And that heavy set is gonna be my main strength movement, my main strength parameter to ensure that, I'm seeing progress in terms of efficient movement pattern and getting adequate amounts of weights. So this is more of that powerlifting side of the workout. And then I went ahead and do 2 back down sets after that. So I do however many warm-up sets it takes me to get to that top set, whatever that may be for you based on your strength goals. Again, this is really prioritizing strength, loading up as much weight on the bar. Then once you hit that top set, those 2 sets after, lower the weight and get as many reps as you can. So now that the weight is lower, but the repetitions are higher, now we're looking at more hypertrophy. Hypertrophy meaning making the muscle bigger. So now we're focusing more on that bodybuilding side of it. So the way I go about it, legs, squats. I went up to a top set of 1 with 365, and then I did my first back down set of 315 for right around 5 reps, and then I did 275 for 8 reps. So you can see 3 total sets, not including the warm-up sets. Warm-up sets do not count. Warm-up sets do not get you anything in terms of results. So take that into account. Don't think that you did 3 warm-up sets and that's gonna give you 3 sets worth of gains. It's what you do afterwards, once your warm-up. Those are the sets that count. Then, and this is now, when it comes to the minimalist, what can I do? The most amount of gains in the least amount of time. I start supersetting. So I finished off with my squat. I did 3 sets of that. Hack squats and calf raises got supersetted together. Now, hack squats, now working on my quads. Calf raises, obviously working out on the calves. Now, the machine that I was using, I did the calf raises on that same machine. When it comes to supersetting exercises, it is a great way to get a lot of work done in the least amount of time as possible. Because now, instead of only doing 1 exercise at a time, resting and then hitting that set again, while you're resting that muscle group, you can go ahead and be working a different muscle group that isn't tired. If you're going to be supersetting exercises, make sure there are two exercises that work two completely different muscle groups. Because essentially, hack squats, I'm mainly doing it for my quads. Calves, I'm doing it for calves. One is not going to affect the other. However, take this into account. If one exercise is more fatiguing and more taxing cardiovascular-wise than the other, do that one last. So I actually started off and got my calf raises in first, right around 8 to 12. And then once I got all those out, I burned out the calves. Then I jumped into hack squat. Same thing, got right around 8 to 12. If I were to do it the other way around, and if I would have started with hack squats, the fact that squats in general are just more fatiguing, you're heavy breathing, your cardio may not be that good. By the time you're done with those and you get to calf raises, you're just gonna be gassed. So start off with the easier exercise because it's not as fatiguing, and then burn it out with that harder exercise. So got 3 sets of those done. Boom, real quick. I was able to go just back and forth, because again, it's different muscle groups. Didn't take much time at all. Now from right here, moved on to leg extensions and single leg curls. Again, we're hitting that superset. Get my 8 to 12 reps. Actually, on this one, I think I did 10 to 15 reps on leg extensions and then superset it with my 10 to 15 reps on single leg curls. So now I'm hitting the final bits of my quads, get those last few sets in, and now I'm starting to introduce hamstrings because again, we want to hit every muscle group. We can't just be focusing our entire leg day on just pure quads. You got to hit the other muscle groups in there. Again, while one muscle is working, the other one's resting, and then vice versa. Do not superset the same muscle groups. I cannot emphasize that enough. Once I'm done with this one, okay, jump over to the next machine, and I'm going back and forth. Saves so much time. Went ahead and did 3 working sets with it. Since we're on the concept of that, at this point, my quads are already warmed up. You shouldn't be jumping into another exercise that works a muscle group you just finished working and feel the need to warm up again. There's no need for it. I just did squats and I just did hack squats. My quads are already warmed up. I'm not gonna be jumping into those leg extensions and start off light and then start going heavier each set. No, I'm just going straight into that heavy weight because I'm already warmed up. However, for the hamstrings, essentially this is my first exercise working hamstrings. This one I will take a couple of sets just to warm up into it. Because again, if it's your first time working that muscle group, warm it up. And then I went ahead and I finished it off by hitting some lying leg curls and calf raises once again. Burning out the hamstrings, getting enough extra sets in there, and then finishing off with the last bit of calves. So same thing, 3 sets each. As you can see, I hit every muscle group in our legs. Boom, done. Leg day, legs hit throughout the week, completed. Now, next thing, day 2, push. Push is chest, shoulders, triceps. I start off with bench press. Now, same concept as before, 3 sets, pyramiding up to that top set, which in this case was 255 for a pause. And then I did a back down set of 225 for 6 reps, and then 185 for right around 10 reps. That's all I need for the bench press. Then went ahead and supersetted incline bench press and dumbbell laterals. Again, 2 different muscle groups. Your laterals, they work out the side of your delts, the side of your shoulders. So if I fatigue those, it will have no impact on my bench press because I'm not working that same part of the muscle. So I went ahead, did the laterals first, and then moved on to the incline, jumping back and forth, 3 sets, done. For the incline, I did right around sets of 4 to 5, still pushing heavy. Then finished it off with cable crossover. Once again, supersetted with laterals. Why did I do laterals again instead of changing it up? It's because you got to keep in mind, when it comes to these exercises, a lot of them, you're hitting a lot of sets for a given muscle group. I have 3 exercises for chest. I did 3 good sets for each. That's a total of 9 working sets for just my chest. But when it came to the laterals, if I were to only do it 1 exercise, hitting it for 3 sets compared to 9 sets, there's a big difference there. If you want to bring up a muscle group more, in this case, I want to bring up my shoulders. I want to make them a little more rounder, a little wider. Okay, work it a little bit more frequently. So now I hit double the amount of sets. 6 good sets of laterals is obviously going to give me more results than just 3. But that's just my personal opinion. Again, change it up however you need. And I didn't write it on here, but I also finished off just to burn out the last bit of my shoulders with some front raises. So one thing I really like about the front raises and the way that I go about it, I do 5 with my arms close together, 5 with a little bit further out, and then 5 arms all the way out on the ends of the bar, just burning out a lot of that front delt. Keep in mind, front delt does get used with every pressing variation that you do, but if you want more direct front raise exercises, more direct front delt, then by all means, go for it. It really will aid in how much you can push on the bench press. Same thing, 3 sets, burning it out. Now, moved over to day 3, now Wednesday, pull, back and biceps. I start off with deadlifts. However, deadlift, when you really break it down biomechanically, it is a leg exercise, but my legs are already fatigued from the amount of squats I do. So for me personally, it works better if I throw it in on my pull day, which essentially is my back day. Now this one, same thing. I work up to a top set, but I keep it at that one top set. The reason for it is because I already worked on my legs on day 1. I don't need any additional leg workout up until this point. So I do a bunch of sets of deadlifts, I'm doing a bunch of sets of legs. I already hit legs earlier in the week, but I still want to make sure that I'm building up my strength when it comes to the deadlift. And luckily for me, my deadlift is my strongest lift. All right, it's my best out of the big 3. So realistically, all I need is one good top set, and I'm still going to be seeing improvements. So in this case, I warmed up to a top set of 405, and I got it for 5 reps. That's all I need. And then I moved on, because again, that is what works for me. Base it off of what your preferences are and where you're at and what you need more work on. That might be the case for you on bench press. That might be the case on you on squats. Regardless, I don't need back down sets on deadlifts. I'm already good at those. I then moved on to my actual back exercise. So traditional pull exercise, traditional back day exercises. So I started off with 1 arm rows, supersetted with pull downs. Now this, yes, I understand. I said earlier, do not superset the same muscle groups, but I was on a time crunch. Okay, so I had to do what I had to do. It's not ideal, but you know, at the end of the day, my back is my strongest body part, hence why my pull is also good. My deadlift is good. My back is wide, it's strong, my deadlift is good. So I have a little bit more leeway on this particular day only. So it may not be ideal for most, but for me, I can get away with it a little, so I'm gonna stick with it. 3 sets each. There was a little bit more of a rest time between both, but realistically, I should have just, I should have just separated them. 3 sets of 1 arm rows, 3 sets of pull downs, not supersetted, but I was on a time crunch, because again, all of this is about most amount of gains, least amount of time possible. It happens. Then I went ahead and supersetted seated cable rows with shrugs. Now this one, yes, it works to superset, because on the cable rows, I'm doing it for my lats. Shrugs is for your traps. 2 different muscle groups. One does not affect the other. So this one, I actually started with the cable rows and then moved on to the shrugs. Don't feel too fatigued after cable rows. Got a good pump in the shrugs afterwards and the traps. So it all worked out. Like I said, this one may alter. Some of you may have to move deadlift over to leg day. That is perfectly fine. Adjust it as needed. Now, there's a reason why I have it in this format for the first 3 days. Realistically, if I was that much on a time crunch throughout the week and life got in the way, as long as I got these 3 days of workouts done, I've hit every muscle group in my body at least once. I could just stop there. I can rest the remaining 4 days of the week and I'll be good to go. Or I can just train Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Regardless, I got everything done, because again, it's all about minimalist workouts. Get as much done, least amount of time. I got a lot of work done here, good quality sets, but not in a whole lot of time. It's only 3 days, which is fine. And I didn't spend so much time in the gym because I supersetted a lot of exercises, so that cut down on a lot of time, which is perfect, especially if you're in a rush and you got a busy schedule. If I have the availability, if I'm free and I have the chance to work out more throughout the week, okay, what will be that 4th day, which at this point is just extra credit when you really think about it. Not ideally needed, but it would be nice. I'm gonna hit legs again. If you look at any research, it's all gonna say the same thing. You gotta train everything twice per week. Again, it's gonna vary. You should, but can you always? Maybe not, because again, we just got busy schedules. We got a lot of things going on. Gym is not the only thing going on in your life. But if I were to hit legs again, this is the way that I did it this past week. Now I'm focusing on my weak points. Whereas in right here, we saw 3 exercises for quads, only 2 exercises for hamstrings and 2 for calves, it's pretty obvious that the quads took over on this leg day. Now we're flipping it. Quads are the least important muscle group on this day. I'm gonna be emphasizing the quads, the hamstrings, and glutes specifically. You gotta do direct glute exercises. Yes, it got worked with all of these squats, but do some direct exercises for it. It's definitely gonna help out. Not just in obviously physique, but in performance. You get stronger glutes by working directly. It's gonna carry over to how much more you can lift on your squats. It's not just all quads. So I went ahead and I started off with calf raises, supersetted with lying leg curls. Same thing, 3 sets each, back to back. One did not affect the other. Calves, I start off with that because that's my weak point. I'm gonna just drill away at the calves, get however many I can, and then jump on the lying leg curl machine, rep them out. Then moved on to that same hack squat machine that I used earlier on day 1. I'm gonna hit more calf raises on there and superset it with single leg curls. So you see, a lot of it is the same movements that we already did on the first day. There's nothing wrong with that. You can do the same exercises multiple times per week as long as you give enough rest, enough days of rest in between. You cannot be working the same muscle group 2 days in a row. That's a big no. You gotta give it time to recover. So 3 sets each on that. And now last one, seated calf raises. Now this one is a little different. Whereas in all the other calf exercises that I've done throughout the week, my knee is locked out. Seated calf raise, the knee is bent. So when we think of calves, the big ball muscle, that's called your gastrocnemius, gastroc for short. That's what everyone thinks of when they think of calves. Anything where your knee is locked out and you're doing a calf raise is gonna primarily focus on that. But once your knee is bent, like in a seated calf raise, now we're gonna be working the soleus. That's that thinner muscle that lies underneath the gastroc and runs all the way down to your ankle. That's that thinner part. That's equally as important. You gotta work it out. And I'm gonna superset it with just leg extensions. So now I'm starting to hit some quads. But you see up until this point, calves and hamstrings took priority. Quadriceps, not as much, because I already got plenty of quad work done on this day. And then finishing it off with some single leg glute kickbacks and some leg abductions so I could hit right here the side of my hips, because you need strong hips if you want a strong squat. So you see, especially with guys, you don't train your glutes as much. You should. It's not just for girls, and it doesn't even have to be for looks. You don't have to grow big glutes and big hips, but for performance wise, you definitely should. You want healthy hips, you want strong hips. That's going to carry over to more proficient squats and deadlifts. So 3 sets of each, just burning out the glutes. Boom, done with that leg day. Again, is this day needed? No, because I already hit all of those muscle groups on this day. Same thing with my 5th and final day of the week. Arms, I'm doing direct arm exercises. Did you see anything for triceps on this push day? And did you see anything for biceps on this pull day? No. Why? Because anytime you're pushing a weight, bench press, incline press, anything where you're just pushing away from you, that's already gonna be working out your triceps, because your triceps are what allow your elbow to lock out. So when you lock it out, obviously triceps. So do I need to do direct tricep exercises? No. When you're pulling, so 1 arm row, you're pulling the weight towards you. Pull downs, pulling the weight down towards you. You're bending your elbow. When you have to force your elbow to bend, that works out your biceps. But I didn't work them out here. Now, if I have the extra day, the extra availability, now I can do some direct exercise for them. You do direct exercise for your triceps to make them stronger, it's gonna carry over to a stronger lockout on your bench press. You train your biceps, have stronger biceps, that's gonna be good for injury prevention so you don't tear a bicep when you're deadlifting. How many times have you seen a video, someone has one arm flipped under when they're deadlifting and boom, the bicep pops and it rolls up the arm? Strong biceps, often overlooked when it comes to powerlifters, but it's definitely important. Even if you're not a powerlifter, looks wise, biceps, that's your arm right there. It's the show muscle. That's what makes your arms look good. Why not work it out? So supersetted cable curls with single arm tricep pushdown, 3 sets of each. Then moved on to dumbbell curls, alternating. Supersetted with overhead tricep extensions, same thing, 3 sets for each. And now direct forearm exercises. Went ahead and did 3 sets of wrist curls with a barbell, supersetted with 3 sets of wrist extensions with a 10-pound plate. Forearms is the last bit of your arm. You should train it. You don't want a massive upper arm, but small forearms. It looks wrong. It doesn't look right. It looks like T-Rex arms. No, you need them big, not just for looks, but also you work your forearms. What is that going to do? It's going to improve your grip strength. And if you have a stronger grip, it's going to carry over to your deadlift. How many of you, you've been so close to locking out your deadlift and it just right before you lock it out, your hand starts opening up, boom, you drop the bar. You need strong grip, you need good forms. This is your chance to hit it. But do I need to train arms directly? No, I do not, because I already got all my tricep work done on this day, and I got a lot of good bicep work with my pulling back exercises here. So you see, a lot of these things on these last 2 days, not needed. If you want to really maximize your results, but in the least amount of time, these 3 days is all you need. But ideally, in a perfect world, if you can, and you should, if you can get everything 2 days per week, go for it. Again, this is just works for me. This is what I do. This is what works for me and my availability. If I only have 3 days, which most of the time I do, boom, perfect. If I have those extra 2 days, I'm taking advantage. Let's get more work done. But it all comes down to you. Use this template and adjust it as needed, because everyone's goals is going to be a little different. Everyone's physiques are going to be a little different. Everyone's got different circumstances. It all comes down to what you can adhere to. So there you have it, everyone. The minimalist workout. Going in, putting in that work, get in, get out. Most amount of gains, least amount of time possible. It's going to vary from person to person. You just got to find what works for you. Once you figure it out, stick with the long term. You stick with the long term, that's going to get you the results that you want. Comment down below if the video was helpful, and also comment down below any other video suggestions you'd like to see me do, whether it be about mindset, motivation, nutrition, diets, workouts, programs, whatever it is. Comment it down below. I'd be more than happy to help y'all out. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any new videos, because remember, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, so don't miss out. And Instagram and TikTok, same thing. Be sure to follow me on both accounts. I put all my links down in the description below. With that being said, I'll catch y'all next time.